All right, you sick fucks. Ready to dive into some seriously messed up shit.
Always up for a good dumpster fire.
Today we're dissecting that train wreck known as Robin Thicke's Blurred Lines.
Oh yeah, this one's a classic.
This ain't just some kitschy tune. This shit pissed off a whole lot of people and sparked legal battles that'll make your head spin.
I've got my law books ready.
We've got articles, court documents, interviews, enough crap to fill a goddamn landfill.
Sounds like we've got our work cut out for us.
Lucky for you, we've got an expert who can wade through this bullshit with us.
Well, I wouldn't say expert, more like someone who spent way too much time thinking about this shit.
They know music, they know the law, and they know how to handle a shitstorm.
Let's do this thing.
All right, so Blurred Lines,
Mm-hmm.
it was everywhere in 2013.
It was inescapable.
But was it just a harmless summer jam? Or did this song cross the line into some seriously fucked up territory?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Let's cut the crap and find out.
No more bullshit.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
get to the good stuff.
So to set the scene, we've got Robin Thicke featuring T.I. and Pharrell Williams dropping Blurred Lines back in 2013.
Yeah, talk about a power trio.
This thing blew up charts, sales, the whole 9 yards.
A bona fide mega hit.
A goddamn mega hit.
But beneath that catchy beat and those repetitive lyrics, there was a darkness lurking.
And that's what we're here to expose, right?
Oh, we're going deep.
The music, the message, the whole damn shitstorm that followed.
No stone unturned.
So let's break down what this song is even about. Expert, give us the lowdown.
On the surface, it's about a guy trying to seduce a woman in a club.
Sounds innocent enough, right?
Yeah, not so fast.
Oh.
Those lyrics like, I know you want it, rubbed a lot of people the wrong way.
Yeah, I can see why.
And T.I.'s rap verse, let's just say it gets pretty damn explicit.
Not exactly known for his subtlety, is he?
Nope, not really.
Right, and Thicke claimed the song was inspired by his wife at the time, Paula Patton. Like he was trying to spin some good girl gone bad
Or
narrative.
he tried to play that card?
Tried to make it all romantic and shit.
Interesting, considering how the song would later be slammed for its portrayal of women and consent.
Yeah, that didn't age well.
Not at all.
And slammed it was. Critics ripped this song a new one.
Oh, they didn't hold back.
What were they saying?
Rapey, sexist, demeaning to women. Those were just some of the nicer terms they used.
Ouch.
Critics argued that Blurred Lines glorified rape culture and treated women like objects.
So what exactly were the lyrics that triggered everyone?
A lot of it was the constant repetition of, I know you want it.
Right.
Critics argued it completely dismissed the concept of consent, implying that men know what women want better than they do.
Yeah, that's pretty messed up.
And then you've got lines like, I'll give you something big enough to tear your ass in two from T.I.'s verse.
Subtlety wasn't really their thing, was it?
Definitely not.
And it wasn't just critics who were pissed off.
Yeah.
This song got banned in some places, right?
Big time.
Like where?
Over 20 UK universities banned it from student events. They cited concerns about its lyrics promoting a negative attitude towards sex and consent.
Wow. That's a pretty big deal, institutions taking a stand against a chart-topping hit.
Yeah. You know, it's bad when even the universities are like, nope, we're not having this.
Damn, that's gotta sting. And then there's the music video.
Oh, yeah, the music video.
2 versions, the edited one and the unrated one with topless models.
Right, both directed by Diane Martel.
So
He didn't shy away from the controversy, let's put it that way.
we're talking models in bed
Yeah.
with Thicke riding a stuffed animal.
Yeah, it got pretty wild.
And who could forget that Robin Thicke has a big dick balloon sign?
Subtlety strikes again.
Yeah, that's a whole other layer of messed up.
For sure.
And YouTube even took down the unrated video at first for violating their nudity policy.
That was a whole thing.
They put it back up later, but still, that says something.
Yeah, it's not every day that YouTube pulls a music video that popular.
And just when you think it can't get any wilder, years later, Emily Ratajkowski, one of the models from the video, dropped a bombshell.
Oh yeah, that was a big one.
What happened?
In her memoir, My Body, she alleges that Thicke groped her on set without her consent.
She claims the director Martel saw it happen and stepped in.
Thicke hasn't really addressed the allegation publicly.
It's important to take allegations like these seriously, right?
Absolutely.
They can have a huge impact on everyone involved and further complicate discussions about power dynamics in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, it's a messy situation all around.
Absolutely. And just when you thought the shitstorm was dying down, the Marvin Gaye estate throws a legal grenade into the mix.
Talk about adding fuel to the fire.
This is where your legal expertise comes in. Expert, what the hell went down?
Well, this is where things get really interesting from a legal standpoint. The Marvin Gaye estate sued Thicke and Williams for copyright infringement, claiming Blurred Lines ripped off Day's 1977 hit, Gotta Give It Up.
Right, and this legal battle got pretty ugly, didn't it?
It was a wild ride.
Walk us through the highlights.
Those depositions were something else.
Give us the juicy bits.
Thicke admitted to being high on Vicodin and booze during the recording, downplaying his role in writing the song.
Wait, he admitted to that.
Yeah, pretty much. And Williams admitted to channeling Gaye's sound, but insisted that inspiration isn't the same as infringement.
But the jury didn't buy it.
Nope, they did not.
They found Thicke and Williams liable for copyright infringement, awarding the Gaye estate millions in damages.
Millions, with an M.
And to add insult to injury, Marvin Gaye was given songwriting credit on Blurred Lines.
Talk about a slap in the face.
Bam, talk about a slap in the face.
So case closed, right? End of story.
Not so fast.
Oh, there's more.
Oh yeah, buckle up.
Hit us with it.
Thicke, Williams, and T.I. appealed the verdict.
They didn't give up.
Hell no. They even got hundreds of other musicians to back them up, arguing that the ruling threatened creative freedom.
Wait, so other artists were on their side?
Yeah, a lot of them saw it as a dangerous precedent for music. Wow, a whole bunch of artists uniting against the verdict. That's a big deal.
It was a big statement about how this case could affect the entire industry.
But even with all that support, the appeal failed.
Yeah, ultimately the court sided with the Gaye estate.
So they lost and had to pay up.
The court basically said that even if you don't copy a song note for note, stealing the overall feel is still infringement.
So after all this, did Farrell ever change his tune on Blurred Lines? He was pretty defensive about it at first.
Well, his stance definitely evolved.
How so?
He initially defended the song against those misogyny accusations, but later admitted that it might have contributed to a chauvinist culture.
You did?
Yeah. In later interviews, he said he regretted how the song might have contributed to negative perceptions of women and consent.
Well, it seems like Mr. Happy finally realized that Blurred Lines wasn't so happy after all.
Yeah, sometimes those rose-colored glasses fall off.
And sometimes those lawsuits make you rethink your whole damn career.
That too. Talk about a fall from grace.
Damn right. Okay, so we've laid out the facts. The catchy as hell tune, the critics calling bullshit the bands, that insane music video, Emily Ratajkowski's accusations, and the whole legal battle with the Gaye estate.
It's a goddamn mess.
It's a whole lot of mess.
Yeah.
But let's dig deeper here. What's the real takeaway from all this?
This whole Blurred Lines saga, it's about way more than just a song.
Oh, I think we all know that by now.
It's a reflection of some seriously messed up shit in our society. It forces us to look at how pop culture influences our views on gender, sex, and consent.
Right. So how the hell did this song become such a cultural phenomenon if so many people had issues with it?
That's the million-dollar question. I mean, the beat was infectious, the lyrics were catchy, you had the star power of Thicke, Farrell, and T.I. It tapped into something primal, you know.
People just wanted to party.
But it also exposed some uncomfortable truths about how we consume and interpret art. Sometimes we just want to have a good time without thinking too hard about the message.
So you're saying people just weren't paying attention to the lyrics?
Not necessarily. I think a lot of people enjoyed the song on a surface level. They were dancing, singing along, not really processing the deeper implications. It's a form of selective hearing, I guess.
We compartmentalize.
Well,
we separate the music we enjoy from the artist's behavior or the actual meaning behind the lyrics.
Exactly. And Blurred Lines challenged that separation. It forced us to acknowledge that even a fun party anthem can carry a harmful message.
So it was a wake-up call.
In a lot of ways, yeah. It sparked a crucial conversation about artistic responsibility, the power of lyrics, and the blurry lines, pun intended, between inspiration and stored-up theft.
And this conversation wasn't limited to some small group of critics. It was happening everywhere, on the news, on social media, in everyday conversations.
Absolutely. Blurred Lines became a water cooler topic, forcing people to examine their own musical tastes and think about the impact of what they were listening to.
I mean, think about it. This song was playing everywhere, clubs, radio weddings. It was inescapable.
And that made the controversy even bigger. It forced people to take a side. Do you boycott the song because you find it offensive? Or do you keep enjoying it, separating the art from the artist and the message? It wasn't an easy question to answer.
Especially when a song becomes so ingrained in the culture. So where do we go from here? What's the legacy of all this?
I think the legacy of Blurred Lines is still being written. It's a cautionary tale for artists, a catalyst for conversations about consent and artistic boundaries, and a reminder that pop culture can be a powerful force for better or worse.
Damn, that's deep. Okay, let's zoom out for a second. This whole case had massive implications for the music industry. How the hell did it change things for other musicians?
The blurred lines verdict sent shockwaves through the industry. It made a lot of people nervous about what exactly constitutes copyright infringement, especially when it comes to the feel or vibe of a song.
Right, because it wasn't like they copied the melody or lyrics note for note.
Exactly. The jury decided that the overall feel and structure of blurred lines was too similar to "Gotta Give It Up."
Which is pretty subjective. Right?
Totally. And that's what made this case so controversial. It sparked a whole debate about whether copyright law was stifling creativity and making artists afraid to draw inspiration from their influences.
Because inspiration is at the heart of music, right?
Absolutely. Music is built on borrowing, reinterpreting, paying homage. But where do you draw the line?
Where does inspiration become infringement?
That's the gray area that blurred lines brought to light.
So are artists now walking on eggshells, scared to be influenced by their musical heroes?
I wouldn't say scared, but they're definitely more aware. The case made a lot of artists rethink their creative process and pay more attention to how they use inspiration and give credit where it's due.
And on the other side of the coin, did this empower artists who felt like their work had been ripped off in the past?
Definitely. It gave them the courage to come forward. We saw a wave of lawsuits alleging copyright infringement based on a song's feel rather than direct copying.
So blurred lines opened up a whole can of worms.
In a way, yeah. But it also forced the music industry to have a serious conversation about creative ethics, fair compensation, and acknowledging the origins of musical ideas.
It's like a ripple effect, right?
Totally.
This one song had far-reaching consequences that we're still dealing with today.
Yeah.
It's not just about Robin Thicke and Farrell anymore.
Exactly. It's proof that even seemingly isolated incidents in pop culture can expose deeper societal issues and have a lasting impact on how we create, consume, and understand art.
Okay, now let's get meta for a second.
Meta. Are you sure you're not getting too highbrow for our listener?
Yeah, this shit's important. You and I are dissecting this blurred lines controversy years after the facts.
With the benefit of hindsight?
We had the benefit of hindsight, years of think pieces and legal battles to inform our perspective. But back in 2013, this was all happening in real time.
It was a cultural moment unfolding before their eyes, with opinions flying from every direction.
Right, so I'm curious, what was the most shocking or surprising thing for you about this whole saga?
Honestly, it was the sheer intensity of the conflicting opinions. You had people calling the song a dangerous anthem of rape culture, while others were like, "It's just a fun song, chill out."
And both sides were passionate about their stance. It wasn't just a casual disagreement. This shit got heated.
It just shows you that art is subjective, and how we interpret it is shaped by our own experiences, values, and biases.
And the internet just amplifies those differences, right?
Totally. Social media became a battleground for these opposing viewpoints, making the whole thing even more polarized. It's crazy how a simple pop song can ignite such passionate debate.
So what does this tell us about society's relationship with pop music?
I think it highlights how deeply pop music influences our lives. It's not just background noise. It shapes our attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors, whether we realize it or not.
And as listeners, we have a responsibility to be more critical of the music we consume.
Absolutely. We can't just passively absorb whatever's being thrown at us. We need to ask questions, challenge the messages, and hold artists accountable for the impact of their work.
Well said. And I think that leads perfectly into our final thought for our listeners.
Oh, you mean the part where I get all philosophical and blow their minds?
Hit me with it.
Right, lay it on it.
Are you beautiful bastards? Here's what we want you to chew on. We focused on the negative aspects of blurred lines, the controversy, the lawsuits, the potential harm it caused. But could there be a silver lining to all this mess?
Hold on, are you saying there's a chance this whole shit show actually did some good?
Could this controversy, despite all the bullshit, have actually contributed to positive change?
That's a damn good question, and it's one that deserves some serious thought. We can't erase the negative impact, but maybe this controversy, as uncomfortable as it was, served as a catalyst for greater awareness and dialogue. Maybe it forced us to confront some uncomfortable truths about our culture and to demand better from the artists we support.
Damn, that's some deep shit. And on that note, we're going to leave you to ponder that question.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
Like, can something that caused so much damage also be a force for good?
It's a tough one to wrap your head around.
Can we acknowledge the harm while also seeing the potential for progress?
I think we have to try. It's not about excusing what happened or minimizing the song's message.
Right.
but about looking at the bigger picture and the impact it had.
So how do we even begin to measure that impact?
It's not easy. We can look at how things have shifted culturally, the increased awareness around consent changes and how we discuss and deal with sexual harassment.
In the music industry and beyond.
Right. Like, did blurred lines even unintentionally play a role in those conversations?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say for sure,
It is.
but it's a possibility.
Definitely. Sometimes these huge public controversies, even though they're painful, they force us to face some ugly truths and reevaluate what we believe.
Like a slap in the face.
Yeah.
Waking us the hell up. And it wasn't just about consent, right? The copyright case had a major impact, too.
Absolutely. The blurred lines verdict sparked a much-needed conversation about intellectual property in music. It challenged those old-school ideas about copyright infringement.
Yeah.
And forced us to look at the gray areas of inspiration.
And how to protect artistic originality.
Exactly.
Yeah, that whole debate about feel versus note-for-note copying.
Right.
It's complicated as hell.
It is, and it's still going on.
Right.
The blurred lines case opened a Pandora's box of legal questions
Oh, yeah.
that the music industry is still trying to figure out.
Yeah.
It's a constant balancing act between protecting artists' rights and encouraging creativity.
Okay, so let's bring it back to our listeners. What does all this mean for them? How can they apply these lessons to their own lives, even if they're not musicians or lawyers?
I think the takeaway is that we need to be more critical of all forms of art,
Yeah.
especially the music we listen to. Don't just passively absorb it.
Right.
Question the lyrics. Think about the context. Consider the artist's intentions.
Or actions.
Their actions, yeah.
Don't just sing along because it sounds good. Pay attention to the damn message behind the music.
Exactly. And if a song makes you feel uncomfortable, don't ignore that feeling.
Right.
Explore why it's unsettling.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
Have those conversations.
Use those moments of discomfort to learn and grow.
So maybe blurred lines, despite all its baggage, could be seen as something that makes us think critically.
Makes us reflect.
Reflect on our own shit.
I think that's a valid point. It's a reminder that even a seemingly harmless pop song can have hidden meanings.
Right.
And spark important conversations about our values and beliefs.
Damn, that's some heavy shit.
I know, right?
Okay, before we wrap up, let's address the elephant in the room. It's 2024, and the blurred lines controversy feels like ancient history to some.
Yeah.
But is it really over?
I don't think so. The legal battles might be settled, but the conversation it started is far from over. Issues of consent, gender dynamics, artistic appropriation, the ethics of inspiration, these are all ongoing discussions.
So blurred lines wasn't just a passing fad, it was a turning point.
Exactly. It forced us to confront some uncomfortable truths about ourselves and our culture.
Yeah.
And those conversations are still happening, shaping how we create and experience art in this digital age.
Well, there you have it, folks. A deep dive into the shitstorm that was and still is Robin Thicke's Blurred Lines.
Yeah.
A story of catchy tunes, questionable lyrics, legal battles, and a cultural reckoning that's still playing out.
It's a reminder that pop music, while entertaining as hell, can be a powerful force for good or bad. It's up to us as listeners to be critical of the music we choose, to question the messages we hear, and to use those moments of discomfort as chances to learn and grow.
Well said. And on that note, we're out of here. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll catch you next time for another deep dive into some more wild shit. Until then, stay curious, and remember, knowledge is power. Peace out.